Hey everyone, Richard Metalfan here, bringing guys an old school album review. And today we're going to be looking into one of the greatest thrash metal debut albums of all time. And this album's hit its 35th anniversary. And as you can see below the title, today we're going to be looking into Show No Mercy by the almighty Slayer. Yep, 35 years ago today this album came out, and this was a start to a good career for this band Slayer. Now I won't even introduce Slayer. One of the parts of the big four along of thrash metal, along with Metallica, Megadeth, and Anthrax. And when it comes to Slayer, I really like these guys. Mainly like the first 5 albums are just classic, and this is just a great way to start off their career. Like they formed in 1981 in California, like by Kerry King and Jeff Hanneman. They were sort of like met each other at doing like covers, playing like cover songs and like in bands and stuff. And then of course they met Tom Araya, their frontman and bassist, and and then they got drummer Dave Lombardo, which in my opinion I think he's the best Slayer drummer ever. Like, his drumming is just basically just the one reason why I like Slayer. I mean, I'm not like a drummer myself, but damn, he's a great drummer. That's the one thing to note about here. The guitar work, Kerry King, Jeff Hanneman, they know how to come up with some really great riffs. And Tom Araya, yeah, his vocals sound pretty good on there. And the bass, my only complaint about, like, the production on this album is, like, I wish the bass was kind of heard a little bit more. I mean, that's one thing you can barely hear here with Slayer albums. You can hardly hear the bass. I would like it to have cut in between like Kerry and Jeff's guitars, but overall, that's just like a minor nitpick. But that doesn't take away from the songs. The songs are really great on here. And then let's dive into this track by track. Now the album opens up with "Evil Has No Boundaries," maybe one of my 3 most favorite Slayer songs ever. I mean, just damn. I just love the opening riff, and also that chorus part. It is a classic 6 song in Slayer's discography. The Antichrist, at the time, probably one of the most fastest and most aggressive songs known to mankind on here. Die by the Sword has some really catchy and killer riffing, and generally it sounds so damn awesome and memorable that sometimes I can hardly believe it's like came out in like 1983 and 3, which is just an internal classic this is. Then we go into Fight Till Death, which, because like they are very, very cool and I like them, but you know, wouldn't you include them on your list of mandatory metal classics? No, I think they're just like as much as like Iron Maiden's like 22 Acacia Avenue or Metallica's Trapped Under Ice, you know, good songs, which are integral part of like the important classic metal albums, but just not as good as memorable as like Run to the Hills or From Whom the Bell Tolls, right? Then we go into Metal Storm / Face the Slayer. Oh my god, which I think is more than just solid. I truly find some of the riffs and the most memorable playing and singing. I know this might sound funny, but for me the song almost sounds like Metallica, with that great influence of like the new wave of British heavy metal, which is a lot of what the thrash metal bands around that time were influenced by. But obviously everything has been played so aggressively and furiously like nothing before. Black Magic is an utterly killer song with some of the best riffs, best vocals, and best feeling ever. I love this song. Tormentor, which is just decent. It's quite simple, almost punk riffing. Has a very simple structure, but is not just as aggressive as the previous song Black Magic or some of the songs on here, but is also not quite as good, but it's still alright. The Final Command, which again has a strong punk feeling and new wave of British heavy metal inspired riffing, but for me it is just the weakest song from the entire album. It feels like a really filler if you ask me, and I wouldn't really cry if it has never been recorded. I guess the main problem is that you just don't have like aggressive songs like Black Magic or Die by the Sword, or then such song wouldn't fit in here. I mean, the song itself is okay, but I could again use my comparison to like 22 Acacia Avenue. You know, no, probably you will never really like the song so much, but since it appears on such a classic album, then you might just have to live with it. Cryonics, which is kind of a weird song. I mean, Araya tries to sing more melodiously here, which is kind of a little bit bizarre, but the song is quite catchy. It is, again, has some of the good riffs, which are so much like Iron Maiden on Adrenaline, for an example, is amazing, like aggressive some of the other songs are on Show No Mercy. But that middle to end part of Cryonic sounds almost kind of like Transylvania or Phantom of the Opera, but I like it a lot, to be quite honest with you guys. And then the album closes with the title track, Show No Mercy, which is the most fastest and vicious way to end this album. And I really liked how Slayer kind of ended on a high note with this album. And wow. Now overall, Show No Mercy by Slayer is a good way to start off their career. If I were to give this album a score, I'd probably give this probably a 9 out of 10. A solid start to Slayer's career, and I really like this album. So yeah, that's my review of Show No Mercy by Slayer, guys. A great way to start off their career. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of Slayer's debut album, and I'll see you all in the next video, and keep it metal.